हरे कृष्ण। क्वाहं दरिद्रः पापियान् क्व कृष्ण श्रीनिकेतनः ब्रह्मबन्धुरिति स्माहं बाहुभ्यां परिरम्भितः. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, where Sudama Vipra, Sudama Brahmana, after meeting Lord Krishna, is returning back from Dwaraka to his house, to his village. On the way, he is remembering what and all happened in Dwaraka. Krishna was his dear friend and they both were classmates. They were playing together and they were studying together in their Gurukul, Sandeep Muni ashram. So in spite of everything, after their education, one became a king, one was a poor Brahmin. So he was in his household affairs and he was doing his duties. Similarly, there Krishna went back, he became a king, Dwarakadish, and he had enemies. Here you had a lot of fightings with Jarasandha. 17 times he attacked Mathura. So Krishna shifted his capital from Mathura to Dwaraka. So that was an arrangement he made. Dwaraka, an island within the ocean. So he was staying there. Then one day Sudama, by pressure of his wife, he went to meet Krishna. So when he finally met Krishna, Krishna fully satisfied him. This is what happens when you meet the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Krishna is not an ordinary person. He is the Bhagavan Krishna. He is Swayam Bhagavan. He is the Supreme Lord. We are Jivatma. He is Paramatma. We are Anu. He is Vibhu. He is the Lord of all Lords. We are the small, tiny Atmas. So when we go and meet the reservoir Krishna, it gives joy to us, it fulfills our heart. They are all struggling in this world. Everyone is in the hard struggle of existence. So here, when we are in hard struggle for existence, similarly, Sudama Vipra, he was also struggling hard in material world with his poverty-stricken life. If you have ordinary friends itself, they know how to speak to us, how to make us happy. You know, a person with desire of all good qualities, how much he will have knowledge how to make somebody happy. How much good heart he will have to serve his friend. And his friend Sudama, he was missing Krishna and he was struck with his family life. And by his pressure of his wife, he wanted to go there. And when he took opportunity of going there, meeting Krishna personally, Krishna made him very satisfied. When Rukmini Devi stopped him enough of taking the chipped rice, which Sudama was carrying in his pocket, he grabbed it and he took it. So Krishna likes generally during Janmashtami, they say Krishna likes chipped rice, so we have to offer poha to the Lord. He likes chipped rice. Like during festival they say you like, Krishna likes butter. Krishna is a butter thief. So let us give some milk made sweet, butter sweet, butter food, something we can mix and give, Krishna will become happy. So Krishna is happy when you give him butter, ghee sweets, or poha chipped rice, when you offer him with devotion. Krishna does not require anything. He had 16,000 palaces with 16,000 wives, 10 sons, each wife had huge family, and he was maintaining everybody. Krishna can maintain 16 million wives also. He is maintaining all the living entities. Eko hi bahunam yo vidatati kaman. There is one Lord, Ekaha. He is satisfying an ant and elephant. He is giving food for ant also in a small room, and he is giving tons of food for elephant in the forest also. He supplies all needs of living entities. In fact, human beings make things impossible by their own selfishness. If you keep a rice bag in the open field, bird will come, how much ever it wants, it takes and goes away. It will eat. Some other animals also comes, they eat how much they go away. When a human being knows that there is nobody and only he is alone there, and he is having opportunity to take, he will take away the whole rice bag. He will not think about others. Krishna gives supply to everybody, either human beings, birds or animals. A selfish human being not only takes his own share or other share, he will go and disturb the other living entities also. If an animal is completely satisfied after eating, he will not go and disturb any other animal. In general, no other species disturb other living entities when they are satisfied. So, a human being, he can be satisfied only when he can use the human nature of humanity. Consciousness is developed after many, many lives. So this kind of consciousness is there, such valuable consciousness should be used to help other living entities. So especially when you are in touch with a higher consciousness. Like Sudama, he went and met Krishna, he became very happy. He used all his consciousness to think about Krishna. And when Lakshmi Devi stopped, enough of you taking poha, so much he will get is enough. Actually Sudama, when he was going back, he was remembering all the incidences. Who am I after all? I am after all a Kvaham. There is a shloka, Kvaham Daridraha. I am Daridra. I am a poverty-stricken person. Papiyan. I am a sinful person. Kva Krishnaha. Who is Krishna? Sriniketanaha. Sriniketanaha means he is a Lord full of opulences. Yes, all 6 opulences. Actually, the Lord has full 6 opulences. 6 opulences means Parashara Muni, the father of Vyasadeva, he gave the definition of Bhagavan. What is Bhagavan? So generally people like to call themselves Bhagavan. Bhagavan in Sanskrit means a powerful personality. Sometimes other devatas or other powerful personalities also are called Bhagavan. But Bhaga means opulences. Bhagavan, Bhagyavan. Bhagyavan means one who has been endowed with opulences. Bhagavan means who has all the opulences. What are the opulences? Aishwaryasya Viryasya Yashashasya Shriyaha Jnana Vairagyayoschaiva Bhaga iti Ganaha. Bhagavan means they should have 6 qualities. What are that 6 qualities? Aishwaryasya. There cannot be any matching riches. In this world, there are rich people. There are donors who have given for corona relief. Bill Gates gave some maybe some $2.5 million. Some other person gave some $3.5 billion. Like that, there is a list. Not exactly the same number. But there are a lot of people who have given donation. But nobody can claim all the riches of the world are there with one person. If all the riches of the world are there with one person, and that also unlimitedly, that is one quality of Bhagavan. And if there is a strength, now there are many strong people who can influence India, China, they had some problems. So they were all discussing how many weapons each person is having. So there somebody is saying, no, Indian army is stronger. They are saying, no, they have a lot of other weapons. That argument they were doing. So if all the power of the world is there with one person, how much powerful he will be. All weapons, all kind of strength, everything is there with one person. That is again one more quality of Bhagavan. Aishwaryasya, Viryasya, Yashasya. Famous. Nobody can be as famous as God. Krishna is so famous with his Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is read in more than 100 languages. How many other languages you see there Bhagavad Gita is translated? We are in India, we know about Bhagavad Gita as a Hindu book. But there are, even in Arabic countries, they read Bhagavad Gita as a book of wisdom. They hear how Krishna has spoken to Arjuna, what has to be taken in life, how we have to apply these principles in our life to be a successful person. Karma Yoga part of it is so famous that you should work without taking the entitlement of the results, fruits of your actions. Business books, management books discusses about it. The leader should be like this. The leader should work hard for the company. A leader should work for his country without thinking for his own results. And they give also explanation about ideal leadership of great leaders who have fought for the country without thinking about themselves. So these principles are there in Bhagavad Gita. It is a book of knowledge. So Krishna is famous. Bhagavan's one quality is very famous. Aishwaryasya, Viryasya, Yashasya, Shriyaha. In the Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma, he offers prayers to Krishna that Krishna is so beautiful, he is so attractive. The god of love, Cupid, Manmat, he can put an arrow and put somebody into illusion of his beauty and love. The god of love. Such god of love, even if there are million of god of love, Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham. Vishesha Shobham. Visheshata means something extraordinary. He is having the opulence of his beauty that it can attract millions of cupids. Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The Lord is so great, so beautiful that he can attract millions of cupids. What to speak of one God of love who can attract living entities. He can attract goddess of fortune and god of love also. Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham. This is one of the quality. Aishwaryasya, Viryasya, Yashasya, Shriyaha, Jnana Vairagya. So all the knowledge emanates from him. The whole Vedas has come from him. It is said in the Bhagavatam The Lord gave the transcendental knowledge of the Vedas from within the heart of Lord Brahma. The Lord is seated in everybody's heart, in every living entity. Atma and Paramatma are situated. So Lord dictated the spiritual knowledge to Lord Brahma, the whole Vedas. Vedas is not limited to only some mantra chanting. Veda means jnana, knowledge. So this knowledge can include military science of Dhanur Veda. It can include Ayurveda, medical science. It can include astronomy. It is having Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, music, Atharana Veda. From Banaras University, some scholars had taken, German scholars have taken some books on Kapovayu Shastra. It is actually nothing but aeronautical science. So they are taken these ideas from Atharana Veda. So the time scale, how they can go to the higher time, how they can go to different planets, what are the seasonal changes, all these things are mentioned in the Vedas. Generally they think Vedas means some Pandits are chanting some shlokas and that is Vedas. Recently they are trying to have a model of a satellite which is designed from Atharana Veda. Exactly like a Gopuram. Gopuram means like a Vimana, means the top of the temple, Kalash is there. Like that shape they have made and they are trying to launch that. So like this, the Vedas have immense treasure of knowledge which is given from Lord Vishnu, Lord Narayana to Brahma, and that Vedas are given later in Parampara to the humanity. You can never finish or understand anything without the help of your Guru. That's why Vedas, if you have to learn about Vedas, you cannot learn from your internet or from Max Miller dictionary or anything like that. You have to go through a spiritual master. That's a recommendation. So you have to go through your Guru. Without going through your Guru, you will misunderstand the Vedas. There is a small story where a veterinary doctor and his assistant, they had gone to a village, and in that village they cured one cow. I think it had eaten something, and that veterinary doctor, he took something and hit on its head. It vomited that. So later this compounder left his main doctor and he started his own business. So one day the main doctor was called to one more village where he went and saw his compounder who had tried to treat one more bull or something and it had dead. So he asked him, what did you do? He said, I did exactly what you did on that day. So what had happened, I think there was some ulcer on the head or something, and he tried to beat that with his hammer and that bull had died. So he said, I saw from you only and learnt. So he said, fool, you have to know for what treatment, what has to be done. You cannot imitate what I am doing. So knowledge cannot be learnt by imitation. You have to learn exactly what that physician is teaching. Then you can also treat. So you like a swimming pool. In swimming you learn how to do swimming. In 21 days you learn something. But if you don't get inside and somebody doesn't teach you how really you have to hold the breath and you try to do all your exercise and then only you learn. So you require a teacher for everything. And Vedas especially recommend that you have to go to a guru. Gurum api gachet, you have to go. Gachet means there is compulsory. Tasmat gurum prapadyeta, you have to go. That's why you have to go to a guru. And what? You have to go to guru. Tadvitti pranipatena pariprashnena seva. You have to ask questions, not blindly believe whatever he is telling. So the guru the authorized guru, if you are submissively asking questions, not just for challenging sake, he will really explain you and he will really purify you from the knowledge of the Vedas. A person who has all this knowledge, he is the owner of all that knowledge. He is Bhagavan. That is also one opulence. Aishwaryasya Viryasya Yashashasya Shriyaha Jnana Vairagya. Vairagya means renunciation. Generally, when they see a person who is renounced, they ask, "Oh, you have left everything. You have given up your education. You have given up your profession, and you are staying in the ashram. So, what will happen to you? Who will take care of you?" So, these are the things generally people sometimes feel compassionate on educated sadhus. They feel, "Why have you given up your home? What will happen to you?" These are the things generally people will be feeling for. But actually, the real Vairagya comes from Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord Himself. You see, the Lord has created so many universes. This earth is there, but He has given us for human beings to stay, for other living entities to stay. He has not given this place only for God to be there. God is everywhere. He doesn't require one place. Every place is His place only. This is only a prison house. Material world is compared to a prison house. Why prison house? Because people who want to enjoy this world on other living entities. Everyone in this world want to become like God. That's how we become very much carried away when everybody appreciates us. Somebody says, "You are a great man. You are a very beautiful woman. You are very knowledgeable. You are very renunciant." That also attracts. So we all want to become a center of every living entity. But actually, Bhagavan, the Lord, is the center of all living entity. But in spite of being the Supreme Lord and He is the Creator, He actually doesn't want to take the opulence only for Him. He gives away to others for enjoyment. Okay, how many other lives you want to enjoy? Then later when you get purified, you come back to me. Because we cannot be happy in this world. We are all struggling. We are all struggling for happiness. And that happiness we can get only when we associate with that Bhagavan. Not created Bhagavans. There are many created Bhagavans in material world. One such was Paundraka. Paundraka was one king. He actually wanted to become like Krishna. So he was dressing like Krishna and he was actually criticizing Krishna that you are not Vishnu, Narayana. I am Narayana, I am Vasudeva, I am Krishna. So you give away your Sudarshana Chakra to me back. Actually he challenged Krishna, and when Krishna came to the battlefield, he came with his friends also. He had some friends. Generally, birds of the same feather flock together. Thieves also all come together. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was the chief magistrate of Jagannath temple. So he actually also had to face like this fake gods. And when somebody challenged, he also took action on them. Like this you will find a lot of fake gods. Like this created fake Bhagavans will be there. But we have to see from the Vedic literature who is real Bhagavan. Sa Bhagavan Krishna, Krishna Devaki Nandanaha, everything is properly mentioned. The poet Jayadeva Goswami is a great poet, a great devotee of the Lord. In his Dashavatara Stotra, he also writes about Lord Buddha, how he will come. Nindasi Veda. Actually, Vedas means knowledge. But people sometimes misuse the knowledge and try to create their own religion in the name of knowledge. So Vedas actually doesn't say that you can kill animals for your tongue. But if suppose somebody, you say you don't take meat, he cannot stop together. Just like somebody is addicted to cigarettes or is addicted to alcohol, they will say him, you don't give up one time, little by little you stop. One time you cannot stop. Similarly, for meat eaters, if you say don't eat, then they will feel, how can I, what will I do? So on a regulative basis, they say you can eat meat once in a month on Amavasya day. So even for an animal eater, he cannot kill a cow. Cow is as much as important as a goat or as an ant also. Every animal is important. Not that Vedas are saying you don't eat cow, you can eat as much as you want, you can kill goats and hen and other animals. They are not saying that. But anyway, if that fellow is eating, don't at least kill cow. You eat the other animals not by purchasing from a shop. 15 days they have rituals. And at the end of that, they can slaughter an animal and offer it front of Kali. And after that, they will start understanding, oh, this much I have to go through. So slowly, the idea is they will stop. So this is there in the Vedic literature, but people misuse the Vedic knowledge and they started thinking that, oh, it is written in the Vedas, so I have to follow. And if Vedas means they are pramana, Veda pramana. Veda pramana means you have to take the authority of knowledge. Just like if somebody goes to the court and they ask, why did you do murder? No, I like, so I did murder. So they'll put you in jail, they'll kill you. But suppose there is a law for self-defense when somebody is attacking you. You can quote that law in the court that according to this section, the client, the lawyer will argue my client had to defend, so he had to kill the other person. So it will become a valid statement. Similarly, it was Veda Pramana means there was validity. Without any statement made from Vedas, it will not have any validity. But their Vedavada means they use the Vedas to not to get the essence of the Vedas, just to misuse the Vedas they use. So, Lord Buddha time, people were actually misusing the Vedas. So the Lord Buddha came and he said, Nindasi Vedaha. He actually rejected the Vedas. Why? This Shruti Jatam, all this Shruti or what this Vedas, Shruti is Vedas, by hearing. Why he rejected such an important thing? Because he saw that Pashugatam, he is seeing that the Pashu is getting killed, animals are getting killed. So his Hridaya, his heart actually became very sorrow. With lot of compassion, he came out and he said, Ahimsa paro dharmaha. He said, non-violence is the highest dharma. And somebody said, Veda pramana, you have to go through the law, Vedic law. He said, no, I reject it. The idea is, when a person is too sinful, he cannot understand God. When a person is too sinful, he cannot understand basic wisdom. He will not understand what is life, what is death. So these are the things you should become free from sin. Yesham antagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam. You have to get pious activities. You have to do pious activities. You have to come out of your sinful life. If you are too sinful, you cannot learn anything. So that's how Buddha rejected. You see, Buddha is also the Lord, but you see his Vairagya. You see he was a renunciant. So the Lord, when he comes to this world also, he shows how much renunciation he can take. Naranarayana Rishi is also avatar of Lord Narayana. He showed how much renunciation he can take. So if you say Bhagavan, Bhagavan means he is endowed with all the 6 qualities unlimitedly. He can become Bhagavan. Not a self-created Bhagavan who can be created in the house and he was previously an animal kind of tendency and suddenly he got a realization, some light fell on him and suddenly he changed and he became God. Then now he is giving pravachan. This can happen in some storybooks, some fables, some mythological stories. But in reality, to become Bhagavan means a Bhagavan is always Bhagavan, a Jiva is always Jiva. So we should always know that we cannot accept anybody as Bhagavan until it is written in the scriptures. Like it is mentioned 5000 years back in Srimad Bhagavatam, it has mentioned about Lord Buddha's appearance. It is mentioned 5000 years back. He will take birth in Gaya, in the womb of Anjani, in Gaya Kshetra. He will take birth. These are all mentioned in the Shastras. So, now there are some incarnations. People will say that there are Dashavatar and the next avatar will be Kalki Bhagwan. So in last few hundreds of years also, there are many Bhagavans who come like that. But actually, we should know from the Bhagavad and other Vedic literatures when Kalki avatar will come. This Kalki avatar will come at the end of Kali Yuga, which is the starting of the next Satya Yuga. So in between that he comes, not at the starting of Kali Yuga. Sometimes they say, there is so much of problems, so our Kalki Bhagwan or any other Bhagwan, he came little early so that he will resolve the problems. So to resolve problem, the Lord has so many incarnations, but as Kalki Bhagwan, if he has to come, he will come after 4,32,000 years. Kali Yuga is 4,32,000 years. And the previous Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, was 2 times of it. It is 8 lakhs. And before that it is around 12 lakhs. It is Lord Ramachandra came around 12 lakh year back. But still we see Lord Ramachandra's presence is Ayodhya. We see Lord's bridge, Rameshwaram, there is a bridge where Lord Rama had built. So these are, we can see evidence of Lord Rama. This all have happened. Lord Krishna's presence is known through Bhagavad Gita, his knowledge. So the Lord Narayana means Bhagavan with all 6 opulences, unlimitedly. When we see small qualities of this in this world, we become very attracted. Like when we see very beautiful people, beautiful celebrities, people get attracted. When they see very knowledgeable person, they get attracted. When they see Vairagis, they get attracted. So these are the opulences of God. And such kind of opulences, when a person goes and gets attracted, that means a person who is a Vairagi, a spiritualist, he goes and gets connected to all these qualities of the Lord. Not that they are beggars. Devotees are going and getting associated with supreme quality, supreme love, supreme happiness, supreme vairagya, all these opulences when they get attracted. So, when he gets attracted, he'll understand the opulence of the Lord. My Lord is so great. I am such a fool. And still the Lord is actually wanting me to become his person. He is coming and inviting in the Bhagavad Gita, please come to me. He is inviting, Parastasmatu bhavonyo vekto avekta sanatanaha. There is a Sanatana world. You please come there. Here in this world, our relationships are very, very limited. There is a Sanatana world. And in that Sanatana world, you can relate with God. You can play with God. You can relate as a parent. You can relate as a lover. There are other relationships also. The actual rasas actually of how you can connect to the Lord is very detailedly in the Vedic literatures. If you take spirituality seriously, then if you have got some perfection, then the Lord Krishna, Narayana is present always, just like a sun is always present. Like now, in the other part of the world, it will be dark, means here it is day. Not that the sun has disappeared. Sun is always there. But the sun is there, our vision cannot see it. We cannot see. Even when the cloud comes and closes the sun, how much huge is the cloud? Cloud may be some 2 miles or 6 miles maximum. But how much big is the sun? So can you imagine, our vision can be closed, sun can never be closed. So huge. So similarly, God can be going away from our vision, but the Lord's activities are always happening in other parts of the universes. So the devotee, after getting his perfection, he gets an opportunity to go to that planet where the Lord is performing his Leelas. There he gets training, just like at the end of the medical MBBS, 1 year they have to go to internship or they have to go for training under one more doctor. Similarly, even in we have to go to the Lord's Leela, in the Vaikuntha Leela, first you have to experience that Vaikuntha Leelas in this earth or in the other planets, wherever the Lord is performing, some other universes, then you can go to the Lord. So this opulences of the Lord and getting attracted to that is bhakti, is devotional service. Yoga means connection. Yoga means addition. Viyoga means minus. So anything you get connected, karma you can connect to yoga, it becomes karma yoga. Only you do karma, you will become karmi. Karma means you keep on doing your good activities and one day you will get frustrated, why I am working so hard. Then you will go to jnana. Oh, this world is all temporary. That is jnana. Then you take to some higher planets by tapasya, yogi. Then you get understanding, you have to go to Brahmaloka, from there. Like that you will go up to the spiritual planets. So these are paths, step by step, step by step. But you can directly go to the Lord by just adding yoga. Yoga is not only exercise. Nowadays yoga has a lot of market. That if you have a yoga, if you have some health problem, you can do some yoga. This yoga is also important to keep up our body and to meditate on the Lord. But after keeping up your body well, you have to get connected to the Lord. Yoga was meant for indriya samyama, to control the senses. In the Western world, they do yoga, after coming out they smoke cigarettes. So the yoga is meant to control the senses, not that you make your senses strong. After that I am having strong lungs, so let me smoke and again now spoil my lungs. Or I am having a very weak body, I am not able to eat properly, not able to have sense enjoyment properly, so let me do yoga and let me go and do it. So no, yoga means indriya samyama. You have to control your senses. Until you control your senses, you cannot get bhakti or jnana, vairagya. The essence of the whole yoga system is Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha. What is the result of all this? So you require to get vairagyam. You to practice any yoga system, finally you should get vairagya. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga. Nija Bhakti Yoga is Vairagya Vidya. So this is taught practically by kings also, like Lord Ramachandra, Lord Narayana, he came as Lord Rama, but he followed a vow where his father told, you have to go to the forest, I have given my promise to my wife. He never argued, my father, how can you do like this? All the people in Ayodhya, they want me to become tomorrow king and you are doing like this. He never argued with his father. Just took up that word and went. So the word of Lord Ramachandra is so much valued. Even not as Lord Narayana, even as a king he showed that ideally. how one should behave, take up the vow of celibacy. Generally, in the Smarta system, if you are married, you cannot become a Vairagi. But in the other spiritual systems, especially in the Bhakti Yoga system, even Eko Nari Brahmachari. Even if you are fixed to one wife, you are still a Brahmachari. It's called Grahastha Brahmachari. Because that is also an ashrama, Grahastha ashrama. Not that you have a wife and wife is your sense gratifying mission. And when she stops satisfying your false bodily desires, then you give up. Wife is not meant to be seen as your satisfying mission. Nor a wife should see a husband as a supplying mission. He has to be giving everything and I will give him something, and when that business is stopped, then you reject him or you reject her. So this is not called Vairagya. The real Vairagya system is actually in the Grahastha ashrama. The real Grahastha ashrama was practiced in the Vedic life. The real Grahastha ashrama. That's how there is Chaturmasya Vrata. These vows are so important. There is a Chaturmasya Vrata. Now this rainy season is called Chaturmasya, and within this 4 months generally the sadhus go around to give knowledge, to give spiritual knowledge, but during these 4 months they don't go out. They stay in one place and there they preach, they practice penances, and one such opportunity was there for Narada Muni. In his previous life, he was born as a Shudra's son. So they were staying in forest. This 4 months, Chaturmasya time, few great sages, Bhakti Vedantists, they actually came to that forest, and in that forest they stayed there. And that time this 5-year-old boy, who actually became Narada in the next life, he was a 5-year-old boy, and this boy, he was going and serving these Bhakti Vedantists, these great pure devotees. He was serving them, and when they were discussing about the Lord, it is actually mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam that when there are great devotees, they assemble together, it brings a lot of joy for them. Their katha, Ritkarna Rasayanaha, they are enjoying. Paraspadam Bodhayanto Mam Tushyanticha Ramanticha. They are enjoying the spirituality. Not that they are worrying, where I will get food today, it is raining, what will happen to me? They are not at all worried. They know the Lord will give them the food. They are working very, very hard to help the humanity to give this happiness. They are not worried for where I will get food. So when somebody offers them some food, they will take that. But that is not their business of collecting food. Their goal is to give this happiness, and they are always enjoying. So this small boy, 5 years old, he was thrilled to see these sages. Oh, so nicely they are discussing some topics he heard from them. And seeing his service, they became very happy with the small boy, and they gave some prasadam, their remnants. And it is said, Uchishtaha, this Mahaprasadam, what is being eaten by the great souls, is so powerful that it can actually give liberation. So he got such kind of great opportunity, and after this Bhakti Vedantists, this sadhus, 4 months, they left the place and went away. And when they were going away, his heart also was breaking. He was also moving. That heart also was going with them. He was seeing them from far away until he could see them in the forest from far away. He was seeing until they went away, and he was always thinking of them. But by the destiny, after some days, he was just 5 years old boy, his mother actually died because of a snake bite. And he was feeling, generally what will happen, 5 years old boy, he is staying in the forest and mother has died. What will happen? He is in a very pitiable condition. But this small boy, because he had heard jnana, spiritual knowledge, he felt, oh, by the mercy of the Lord, Now all my attachments are left. So he walked alone in the forest to practice that spirituality, what has been taught by that great souls. And in that very life, he perfected himself. And his next life, he became Narada. We know how Narada Rishi is so great. He is not an ordinary soul. He is so great. So these Bhakti Vedantas or the great devotees of the Lord, their only duty is to connect to Bhagavan. So today's discussion on Bhagavan and Bhakti Vedantas, the great souls, they are so great, they can introduce us to the Supreme Lord. Generally, what we think as God, there are so many sufferings, why God is not coming. No, you go and meet the right person. They will teach you what is God, how you can enjoy the Lord's opulences, that blessings even in this body. You can become a liberated soul even when you are staying in this body. This is what they can teach. A small story of Ramanujacharya. Ramanujacharya, a great soul, a great Acharya. So he, in his childhood, he was going to a Sanskrit school. But the Guru was not a great devotee. He was only a Sanskrit scholar. It's not that every scholar should become a devotee of the Lord. So he was a scholar. And he was little jealous of Ramanujacharya's, that time he was not an Acharya, Ramanuja's, a student Ramanuja's knowledge, he was jealous. He was actually making statements which were actually very critical and which were criticizing the Lord's beauty. But he was actually twisting the statements. So generally the students actually do some massage and they have to go and do service to the teachers. There's a tradition. So Ramanuja also used to do some massage for his teacher. And this Guru was explaining about a Sanskrit verse that the Lord eyes and face is like a monkey. So Ramanuja's eyes were filled with tears, and that tear fell on the back of that Guru's back and it burnt him. He said, why are you crying? He said, this is not the meaning what is told in the Vedas about the Lord. So he asked him, you explain, let me see what meaning. So he explained that Sanskrit meaning of that word, how when the sun is rising and that horizon, how beautiful the sky is, such beautiful is the Lord, such beautiful is His smile. What I was saying is the Lord devotees are so much attracted to the Lord that they cannot tolerate insult even through Sanskrit grammar. So one day in the same town or nearby village, the king's daughter had been caught by some ghost. She was haunted by a ghost. The king declared that please anybody can come and actually bring this ghost out of the daughter's body. He will give them sufficient gifts. So they tried to bring so many people and they could not give any relief. So finally Ramanujacharya and his Guru, their team were called. So when they went to meet this king, the princess who was haunted, that ghost, so she started behaving very wildly, moving around that palace like she was shouting. And this Pandit who had come with Ramanuja, young Ramanuja and the other disciples, he said, I can teach you a lesson. So this ghost laughed in the body of the princess. She said, you can help me? You know who are you? You are after all a lizard in the previous life. And by the mercy of the great devotees who had taken Mahaprasad, that you ate and you have become a teacher of Ramanuja. Who are you after all? But if Ramanuja actually keeps his legs on my head, means that princess head, then I will leave this body. I want Ramanuja to keep, not you. You are after all a lizard. So then they asked, what is the guarantee you will leave the daughter? So she told, I am just living outside this palace on the tree. The moment I leave her body, the branch of the tree will fall down. So then you will come to know that actually I have left. So Ramanujacharya feet were kept on that princess head and that ghost left. So you know how these Bhakti Vedantists are great acharyas, great devotees, they are so great that even their food remnants, by eating, a lizard can become a great Pandit, a great scholar. And a great devotees, they can connect us to the Supreme Lord. So any vrata, either Ekadashi vrata or Chaturmasya 4 months, there is a simple ways also of doing this vrata. Chaturmasya is meant for everyone. Chaturmasya vrata, everybody can follow. Grihastha, Sannyasis, Brahmacharis. This Chaturmasya vrata people do to go elevate to the higher planets. But Vaishnavas do Chaturmasya vrata to purify themselves, to perform more devotional service. And it is so simple for Vaishnavas of leaving 1 month few green leaves or 1 month some curds and milk. If you contact the devotees, they will tell you, they will teach you how to follow Chaturmasya vrata. So all these vratas are meant for purification of heart. So if you know the Lord by purifying ourselves, because we are all very sinful. And when we are sinful, we cannot know God. When you are too addicted for intoxication, you cannot know God. So to know God, you have to become purified. And like Sudama, when he is walking and going on the street, he is seeing, he is thinking about the Lord is so great. Kvaham daridra papiyan. I am a papi, I am a daridraha. Kvaham Krishna Srinikeetanaha. Brahma Bandhuriti Smaham. Although I am taken birth as a Brahmana, what is the use? I am a Brahma Bandhu. Brahma Bandhu means he has taken birth in the Brahmana family, but I am not qualified. It's like I may take birth in a doctor family or a chief magistrate family. So they may call me a magistrate son, doctor son. Not that because I am doctor son, then I can become automatically a doctor. I have to become qualified. Similarly, I have to become from Brahma Bandhu a real Brahmana. Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. Janmana Jayate Shudra. By samskara, you can become a twice born. But Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. When you understand Brahman only, you can become a Brahmana. So Sudama is feeling, I am a Brahma Bandhu, I am a fallen Brahmana. I am not even a qualified Brahmana. But what has Lord done? Bahubhyam. He has embraced me with his bahu, parirambitaha. He has embraced me with his arms. So this is a great feeling a devotee can have when he comes in contact with Krishna, the Supreme Lord. So when Janmashtami happens, we embrace the Lord by his memories, by his chanting his holy names, by thinking of him, by praying to him, my Lord, please help me to become your devotee. I am struggling in this world. Please let me come back to you. This is bhakti. This is what the Lord is calling for. Sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam charanam vraja. He is calling. Please come to me. And we also should pray to Krishna to go back to him. Jai Jagannath.